I'd like to introduce our panel this evening who will be asking candidates the questions. And there are two, one from the Westerly Sun. Help me out here. I want to make sure I pronounce the names right because we practiced beforehand. And we've got Corey Fike of the Mystic River Press and Chris DiPaolo from WBLQ. So we welcome you with your questions. The questions have been developed collaboratively by the League of Women Voters and the Eastern Connecticut Chamber of Commerce. So they should be of interest to a wide audience. We determined the order of speakers by a coin toss before. And so the first question will go, this is, the first debate this evening is for the office of Judge of Probate. And the two candidates are Salvatore Ritacco, did I pronounce that correctly? And Beth Leamon. And the first opening statement tonight will be given by Mr. Ritacco. So you have 1 minute for an opening statement.
Good evening. My name is Salvatore Ritacco, and I am the Republican endorsed candidate for the special election. I'm effectively applying for this position through my campaign. I want to thank our host, the Valentes, the Osher Community Chamber of Commerce, the Women League of Voters, and for all of you who have supported me since 2018. As a recap, I'm 40 years old. I was born in the Wesley Hospital. I attended the Stonington Public Schools. I grew up in Pawcatuck. I've lived in Stonington my whole life. And I've spent 8 years working at law firms. I went to Providence College, UConn Stores, and from there I spent about 8 years before, during, and after law school at various law firms. I established my office in 2008 in Pawcatuck, and I've remained in Pawcatuck for the past 12 years with my practice. Thank you.
Thank you. I was remiss in not introducing, that was the feedback, in our timers. I'm sorry, I forgot to indicate to your right, you'll see a sign going up that says 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and stop. Okay. So, Ms. Ritacco, or Ms. Leamon, you get 1 minute for your opening statement.
Hi, again, I would like to thank everybody for putting this together, especially Lisa Knickie. I know she worked hard on this. And thanks to Rob and Deb Valenti for hosting and the League of Women Voters. So I'm Beth Ladwig Leamon. I've been practicing law for 18 years. I have a law firm in Pawcatuck, Connecticut, and office also in Madison, Connecticut. I focus primarily on estate planning, estate settlement, and probate law, and I've been doing that for the last 12 years. I started out practice at larger law firms in Connecticut, where I did sort of a more rounded area of law where I would do just about anything they asked me to do, from litigation, family law, real estate, corporate law, and even some appellate work. So I'm honored to be here today. I'm honored to be the Democratic candidate for Judge of Probate, and I thank everyone for their support.
Thank you. And we have 5 questions for you. The first one will go to Mr. Ritacco, and it reads, administration of estates, involuntary commitments, and guardianships of minors are some of the sensitive issues you would preside over. What experience and personal characteristics make you the most qualified person for this position? And you get 60 seconds for the first part of your answer, and then Ms. Leamon will get 90 seconds, and then you'll get another 30. Okay.
Thank you. So first and foremost, I think it's my background. Growing up in Pawcatuck and working with the residents over the past 12 years, I've been able to work in a number of different practice areas that I bring to the table. Specifically, I've worked on some very difficult estate cases with will contest cases, conservator cases where things have gone wrong. And what I see happening is people coming to me, clients coming to me with cases that I can't effectively resolve, and my hands are tied. So what I'd like to do is get into the probate position to really help set up forums with local attorneys where we can get out there and we can show some of the perils of probate so people can effectively plan beforehand, and we can get rid of some of these tragic cases that come before us, and I really call them systemic tragedies. Really, with planning beforehand, we can have some sort of preventative maintenance to resolve some of these cases, and that's why I think I should be elected.
Okay. Thank you. And now 90 seconds for Ms. Leamon to answer the same question.
The probate court profoundly impacts families' lives in Connecticut. And I have devoted my career and my law practice to helping families, children, and the elderly in probate and planning for probate. I think that it's important to understand that as an attorney, you're able to help your clients plan and make sure that their wishes are affected either when they become incapacitated, and through advanced planning documents, living wills, naming of a conservator, and also when they get to the decedent's estates aspect, to make sure that their affairs are handled the way they want it to be. As a lawyer, that's our job, to make sure that our clients' wishes are affected. As a probate judge, you're going to stand in front of parties when they're at a very difficult time. And I've been there helping my clients plan for these difficult times. I've advocated for them in these difficult times. I've practiced in over 26 of the probate courts, so I've seen what works and what doesn't work, and I believe that I can bring my experience to bear and my profound knowledge of the law and estate planning to help probate and to help the community understand probate and be better informed when they get to the probate court.
Thank you, Ms. Leamon. And Mr. Ritacco, you have another 30 seconds to complete your answer.
Ritacco.
Ritacco.
Thank you. So what I bring to the table is really a different perspective. From a general practice standpoint, I look at cases a number of different ways. And what I've learned in the past 12 years is how to resolve cases, how to resolve hundreds of cases. And that's effectively what you need to do as a probate judge. And as a probate judge, that's what I would be looking to do each and every day, is to work with families to resolve some of the issues that they would have in their cases and to be there full time. Thank you.
Thank you. Now the next question will go first to Ms. Leamon, and you'll first have 60 seconds for the first part of your response. What do you feel is the most important role of a judge of probate?
I think the judge of probate really needs to be someone who is fair and impartial, someone who listens to the parties that come before them, and that the parties is able to explain the probate system to them so that when a decision is made, the parties understand why the decision is made, and they feel that their grievances when their case has been heard and understood by the judge. At that point, being a judge isn't just about deciding the case, but it's about teaching people about probate and about why the decision was made.
Thank you. And Mr. Ritacco, you get 30 seconds more for your response. I'm sorry, 90 seconds for yours.
Thank you. So I do agree. You do need to have compassion. You do need to listen. You do need to be fair. But also simply knowing how to do estate planning and to help clients get to the probate court, I believe, is a little different. I believe that once you're there, what you need to do as a probate judge is to not only be there and have an open door policy and help make the court more efficient and to bring certain technologies to the court to help people better understand what they're doing in probate court, what they're planning for, and what some of the tragedies that they need to look out for, some of the perils. but also to effectively help them resolve disputes, to look at what is there at their door with regard to resolving a case. And a lot of times you need someone that will not only make the decision, but help them to make their own decision. And that's how you resolve cases. That is how you work to effectively help them make their own decision. And that's what I hope to do as probate judge. Thank you.
Okay, so for the third question, let's get back on the way we were supposed to be doing it.
I get 30,
30 seconds
to
more,
reply.
and then I'm
Yeah.
going to turn the questions back over to you, gentlemen. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
We changed things quite a bit tonight, so go ahead.
Excellent. Well, I wanted to say that part about being a judge is it's important that when I say a judge needs to be fair and impartial, there's a code of judicial conduct that does not allow judges to have what we call ex parte communication. We need to make sure that the judges, above all, appear fair and impartial and independent. And that's why you can't have contact. It's very hard, and it's almost impossible to have an open door policy because the judge needs to not have interaction outside of the court with either party. And therefore, you need to have the utmost independence in the judge. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So who would like to go first, Chris or Corey? Okay. And the next question will go to Mr. Riccotto for 60 seconds.
Are there any rules of probate that you would like to see changed?
I don't have any specific rules that I would like to see changed. There is something that I would like to see done with regard to forums. What I've said and what I'll repeat is that we need to have forums where we have local attorneys that come in and talk about some of the perils to really get people to understand what they're planning for and what some of the issues are, and planning early. Like I've said many a times, I get clients that come in and there's either an issue where a last will was submitted and it really should not have been put forward, but because of the simple characteristics of a will, where you only need 2 witnesses and it can be signed even without a notary, you find people that go before legal Zoom and come back to you with something that really shouldn't be admitted. And with forums, I believe that we can help people by looking out for what some of the issues are so that they don't come forward. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Leamon, you get 90 seconds.
One of the things that I would work for in the probate court, it's not necessarily a change, but it's an addition that we've had this year for COVID-19. We've had a lot of video conferences. The probate courts have been effectively closed during hearings, but I've attended a number of hearings at the probate court where we've been able to do what's virtually a Zoom, but they call it a WebEx. Clients are able to log on, they're able to dial in, the attorneys are able to dial in, we all see each other, and I think it has made for a lot of probate hearings, very efficient and effective. And so I'd like to see that part of what we've seen in COVID be kept through and added to the practice book, that the judge would have the option to allow WebEx and video conferencing. It saves my clients a lot of money. I don't have to drive to the probate court. I don't have to wait around. I don't have to drive home. They don't have to miss work. They can just be there at the probate court virtually. I think some clients want to be before the judge, and they're disappointed that they don't get to be there in person, and that's why I would like to allow the judge to have discretion to allow people to video conference in. I think it's been a great improvement to the court system. Thanks.
Thank you. And Mr. Ritacco, thank you. You can go ahead for 30.
30 seconds, correct? So I agree. Just this past quarter, we've resolved, I would say, maybe 2 or 3 cases using team meetings in Superior Court. One of them was actually appealed over to Superior Court, and it was great to have all of the parties there and to be able to confer with the clients on the other line and go back to the judge and effectively resolve the case. I would like to see us add something else with Zoom videos and YouTube videos.
Okay.
I'm sorry, time's up.
Thank you very much. And so the next question will come from Chris. And this will go to Ms. Leamon for 60 seconds.
Okay, Beth, what is your motivation to shift from private practice to judge of probate?
I get that question a lot. So I've had some time to practice, but I think it's part of it is being dedicated to community service. I would be able to take my passion for probate law, and I wake up every day thinking about how I can be a better lawyer for my clients, and my passion for helping families, the elderly, and the disabled, and I'd be able to combine it into one job where I'd really be able to help people. I was taught from a young age about community service and the importance of community service. When I was 5, my mother would take me to visit nursing homes, and we would visit the elderly who didn't have family. My father would tell me that I could be anything I wanted to be, and I would always say, even the president, and he'd say, yes, even the president. Well, I don't want to be president, but I would like to be your probate court judge.
Thank you. And then Mr. Ritacco, you get 90 seconds.
So I'm the child of immigrant parents. We work tirelessly. And people have asked me this question, why are you running? Over the years, I've learned that you get a lot more by giving. When I started, I worked off a large student loan debt because this was really a passion of mine. And after working night and day, I was able to push through the barrier and start giving back. I was able to give back with town government and local chambers. I met a prior probate judge who taught me that as a probate judge, you can effectively help everybody before you. And at some of the deepest and darkest moments, I feel I can be a friend to those people going through the probate process. You may not be able to have an open door policy, but you can be there for hearings, make sure you schedule stuff so that people can come in more rapidly. And that's why I'm running, and that's what I want to do as probate judge. Thank you.
Thank you. And then back to Ms. Leamon for 30 seconds.
Thank you. I also think that as probate judge, I would have a wider reach, and I would be able to be out and teaching people about probate and about how the system works. I'd be able to do more forums for caregivers so that when nurses and home health aides saw that their patients needed something, that they would know how to reach out to the probate court.
Thank you. And the next question will come from Corey, and it'll go to Mr. Ritacco for 60 seconds.
If you are elected, do you plan on continuing to represent clients at your private practice?
So I've been asked this question, and back in 2018, I had made a promise that I would effectively serve as full-time counsel. I've been lucky enough over the past 12 years to work with a few seasoned attorneys as co-counsel over the years, and 3 of them would effectively be resuming most of my practice. So yes, I would be there full-time, and people would have my undivided attention at the probate court. It is a 4-year position, and you never know if you have opposition, so I'm going to keep my office going. But I would be there as much as needed, and effectively there to help the probate clerks that are there to make it efficient and ready for all the people that come through. Thank you.
Thank you. And Ms. Leamon, you get 90 seconds for the same question.
Okay. So I'm not sure if Sal said he's going to continue practice or stopping private practice, but I'm sure he can clear that up. My understanding is all the probate judges I know in Connecticut do still maintain a private practice while focusing primarily on the probate court. And I'm very lucky that I have a law firm that has 5 attorneys. They can back me up when I need to be in probate court. I do still plan on having private practice. I have clients that I've represented for over a decade, and they rely on me. And I have talked to other probate court judges, and they are still able to handle focusing on the probate court, but also when they need to, stepping in to help and continue to help their clients. So I think it's a great job, because I do understand that because it's an elected position, most judges do continue to have some part of a private practice at the same time as being judge, and they're able to handle it, and I've talked to people about this. So I look forward to being the probate judge and being there and focusing on that, but also continuing the work that I love with the clients that I've grown to love as well.
Just as a follow-up, how would you navigate ethics violations?
We've talked about this as well. In my practice, I primarily have built up a practice in Madison, and I do have some cases in Pawcatuck and Stonington and Groton area, but my partners would not be able to practice in the probate court in Groton if we had any matters that came in, and we would refer those out to other competent attorneys in town. I could still practice non-litigation matters in other probate courts outside of the Southeastern Regional Court.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Ritacco, let's give you 60 seconds so that you can also answer the ethics question. And you had 30 originally. We'll give you 60 so that you can answer both.
Can you repeat the question, please?
How would you safeguard yourself against any possible ethics violations if you kept seeing private clients as well as probate work?
Well, my practice is primarily in general practice, but for the attorneys and the clients that I continuously work with, I would recuse myself.
That's great. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Those are all the questions that we have. So you can make a closing statement. You each get 60 seconds. And Mr. Ritacco, you'll go first with 60 seconds for your closing statement.
Thank you for the opportunity to come before you. Thank you for the residents for taking the time to learn about me and the position, and for the many supporters, and especially for my better half, my wife, for enduring this passion of mine to be your judge of probate. If probate judge, I promise to put the same amount of time and attention into helping the office and to the residents resolve cases. It is my goal to use technology to help educate the public with what to do before the probate court, and more importantly, to work with attorneys in the district to showcase why to plan and what to plan against as a family. I promise to give you the time and attention you deserve. In 2018, like I said, I made a promise to serve full-time and to help the probate court and the existing staff as much as possible. I look forward to bringing 12 years of experience to the bench and dedication to the families of our community. I promise to be brief, so please visit my website to learn more, salforprobate.com, and thank you very much to all of you for giving me the opportunity. It's truly helping. Thanks.
Thank you. And Ms. Leamon, you get 60 seconds.
I just want to say that this has been a great experience. I want to thank Sal for running Positive campaign. And I believe that in closing, I have the experience, the empathy, and the enthusiasm for the job. You have to get up every day and go to work, and you have to love what you do. And I do love what I do, but I'm so looking forward to being judge of probate in southeastern Connecticut, a new challenge, a culmination to my legal career, and being able to serve the community that I love so well. I also went to Stonington High School. I grew up in Mystic. I've lived in Pawcatuck, Gales Ferry, Stonington, and North Stonington as well. And I know the community, and I know what the community needs, and I look forward to being there for the residents of southeastern Connecticut. Thank you.
Many thanks to you both. You did a great job, both of you. So thank you so much for being here and participating in empowering voters to promote democracy. Well done. We'll take a little break now as the state reps prepare for theirs.